afternoon, and thanks for joining us Across the Fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Over the years, technology has revolutionized our world and daily lives. It's created amazing tools like the smartwatch and the smartphone that put information at our fingertips. And our computers are faster and more high-powered than ever before. With all these advances, technology has made our lives easier, better, and more fun, but not for everyone. There are so many new technologies. To some, it can be overwhelming, isolating, or both. And that's where Technology for Tomorrow comes in. It's a nonprofit organization based in Williston that provides technology education and other services to a variety of organizations and individuals. To learn more about Technology for Tomorrow, we've been called on the program manager. His name is Bjorn Nordstrom. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So who and what is Technology for Tomorrow, and how did it get started?
So Technology for Tomorrow started back in 2012 by a South Burlington High School student, Neil Desai. And it started with students sort of volunteering to go to a senior citizen home, Allenwood I think it was, to provide some technology education. And as the organization evolved, it's becoming more of a professional operation versus student-based.
Right, so students are still sometimes in the summertime, but their schedules are crazy.
Correct, so we use students in the summer for volunteering and helping out, but during the regular school year, obviously we don't have access to students because most of what we do is during the school day.
Right, so who does Technology for Tomorrow impact?
So we serve several different audiences, right? So a couple of audiences that are of interest, I think, to this show is one is older adults, senior citizens. And another one that we work very closely with is new Americans, refugees and immigrants.
Sure. And you also, home education is also a big part of this program also, and part of yours.
Correct. So we do home education. We do classes for home educated students both here in Vermont and online throughout the country. And we also do work with workforce development individuals. People are unemployed or underemployed that need technology skills to maybe move up a little bit in work or get a new job.
Okay.
Or get a job.
We'll probably come back to that, but so what happens when technology leaves people behind?
So here's sort of what that looks like in reality, right? So typically, and I will talk about the older adults community, senior citizens specifically, right? So that you work and you're more connected with technology, right? And then you retire. And that means you might become more isolated. You don't have access to the same friendship groups, colleagues, same technology you had at work. So that means that all of a sudden you become isolated and you might be left behind because technology is moving forward still, even though you retire, right? And so what we do is we go to physically to many senior homes and activity centers to provide updated technology training services to kind of keep people in the loop on new technologies and how to use devices in order to access communication, access information, access entertainment, in order to break isolation a little bit.
Right, so iPads, iPhones,
Right.
computers, not just one of those things, but all of those
All of
tools.
them, fixing printer problems, helping people access services online or things online. It could be My Health through the medical center. It can be helping people install an app to be able to check their glucose level for diabetes. It is a wide variety of things that we do that if we don't do it, they will not have access to it, and there's going to be frustration in their lives.
So who is we? You talk about we. Is it you going out?
It's literally we is a lot of. It's pretty much me. Yes.
Yeah.
That is we is me.
Are there other volunteers? Are
Yes.
you looking for people to help out to do what you do and take to senior citizens and other?
So we have some volunteers. We use students in the summer, and then we have some adult volunteers volunteering once in a while here and there as it meets their schedules and availability.
What about the new Americans? Why is this important to them, and how is that audience a little bit different from seniors?
Right, so the new Americans that typically come here, and we're talking specifically about people of a refugee background. They might not have ever seen a computer before they come to Vermont, because it's just not part of their experience, right? So we are the first interaction that they have many times with a computer. And many times at work, in order for you to apply for a job, you have to maybe apply online. In order for you to find out things about your child's education at school, you have to access the internet and the school's website. So we provide a service to basically make people, immigrants and refugees a lot of times, simply be able to function in society.
Right, and probably help with language learning.
Oh, absolutely.
Potentially.
So what we do is actually, we work with the USCRI, the U.S. Committee on Refugees and Immigrants, a wonderful organization. And we integrate technology into their language learning classes. So we do both English and technology into one.
Fantastic.
To kind of like maximize both.
Right. And then how do you get into workforce development?
So what we noticed is we sort of like look for needs, right? So we work with a lot of organizations. We have a pretty good network of individuals and organizations we talk to. So we kind of listen and look for needs, and we hear that, you know, certain individuals might need to learn how to use Microsoft Office, for example, and we provide that service. Or certain individuals need to learn how to use a specific tool for work, and we might have an ability to be sort of like a facilitator of that training.
So you find the gaps and
Right.
you work to fill them.
Exactly.
I'm so fascinated that it was started by a student.
Correct.
And you have a lovely video on your website, and we just want to show a piece of it about how this affected students who are doing this, even though you don't use students all the time.
Right.
It is more professional now. But let's take a look at that video and see some of the young people that were involved.
The most important thing that I've learned from working with seniors is kind of like how to be patient and teach people, because a lot of these seniors haven't really interacted with this technology before, and so the first few times you do it, it's a little bit hard, test your patience a little. You're like, no, click that. But over time you kind of just get more patient with that, and you really learn more of how to teach people, and it becomes easier and definitely becomes a lot more fun.
And just drag it.
Yeah. Or if you wanted to copy the whole thing, you could just drag the whole folder.
They understand that we are starting to lose some of our memory capacity, so they may have to repeat it a few times. Sessions have been extremely helpful.
Clearly, Technology for Tomorrow is very effective in helping seniors understand and apply new technologies. That's why the team is working very hard to find new high schools and new volunteers to reach new senior citizens throughout Vermont and beyond, to help more and more people gain these skills. At the end of the day, it's about the relationships that are involved just as well as the instruction. For the students learn new skills working with senior citizens, and the seniors learn new abilities that they can apply throughout their lives.
I don't quite dig what I'm supposed to do with this.
So that's a stylus. For seniors not to be isolated from society, for them to have an active voice in the community, in global news, and really any network that they want to be a part of, technology is the only way to do it. Bridging that gap is so important because it brings seniors back into society, back into where they can share their opinions in a really effective manner.
If you're just joining us, we're learning about a program called Technology for Tomorrow. And you are just seeing and hearing from some of the technology educators and learners. Joining us now is Laura Wilson. Laura works with Cathedral Square in Burlington, which provides affordable housing and communities for older adults and people with special needs. Thank you for coming in. And we've been with Bjorn, of course, who is the program manager here. But what is Cathedral Square's connection to Technology for Tomorrow, which is a nonprofit?
Yeah. So Bjorn reached out to Cathedral Square, as we're a houser of many seniors in the area. And they basically reached out to say, we want to help your seniors better understand and use technology. So for a nonprofit that's resource limited, the idea of getting some free support from him was exciting. So we threw out the idea to all of our staff and said, you know, would you be interested in inviting Bjorn into our community? So people latched on instantly, because day to day we're getting asked by our residents, can you help me with my phone? I don't have email. I want to vote, but I'm leaving, and can I do that online? And so we were really getting pulled. Not only do we not know how to do all the things they're asking us, but kind of time crunched and wanting to serve everyone. So when Bjorn reached out, we thought, wow, this could be a wonderful partnership.
Oh, great partnership. And is this unique, a unique kind of partnership, or one of many? I mean, what makes it unique for you?
Unique because it's in technology. So typically you don't see education around technology for low-income elders. I mean, you hear a lot about it for either new Americans or students and young people, but I feel somewhat like our seniors get left out.
Right.
And to keep people at home and for seniors to be as independent as they can for as long as they can, there's new technology emerging all the time. And so this is a great way for our residents to stay at home, whether it's shopping online and getting groceries delivered, learning how to get an Uber. You know, they might be
isolated with their grandchildren.
Right? They might see pictures on Facebook and they wouldn't have seen grandchildren.
Yeah.
Great point.
Wonderful. So Bjorn, are there other partners and sponsors that you work with?
Yeah, we are a close partner of the AARP, for example. We work, like I explained before, with the USCRI. Cathedral Square is a great partner. We worked with HWell on a program in Winooski for a few months back in 2019. And we do have a few sponsors as well.
How do you deal with costs?
So we heavily rely on grants and donations because we're working with underserved communities, which are a lot of times low income. They simply can't afford paying fees, right? Mm-hmm. So that means we have to find other resources, other ways of funding the programs, and those ways are pretty much limited to sponsorships, donations, grants.
And that would mean the same if you want to spread out from Chittenden County, which you have a little bit.
Yeah.
You, of course, that's more resources that you're looking for.
Yeah, so for us to be able to, let's say, reach rural Vermont, then clearly we're going to need some sponsorships or partnerships in other areas outside of Chittenden County. Obviously, being a 501c3 nonprofit, as we are, then sponsorships and donations and grants are the way to go.
And I think one of the ways that linking up with an organization like Cathedral Square, it broadens the interest for Technology Tomorrow for grants. So Cathedral Square is statewide, and we have a wonderful reputation in the state, so I think it would also good for both of us to partner and leverage more funds.
Absolutely, and make that connection. So how can people get involved and get help from Technology for Tomorrow?
Where they can contact us to begin with. They can go on our website, techfortomorrow.org. They can give us a call, 802-448-0595. They can sponsor us through finance grants or donations. They can contact us to help volunteer. So there are a lot of different ways that they can get involved, but the first step is probably to contact us. That would be great.
Okay, so Bjorn and Laura, thank you so much for bringing us information about Technology for Tomorrow and for helping so many seniors and new Americans and people looking for work, and hopefully you'll get lots of young people working for you in the summer again.
Well, thank you.
Great.
Okay,
thank you for having us.
Both.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard.